Oh. Okay, we're recording.
Hey! Good everybody.
Hi everybody. Well, this is our first live webinar for questions and answers. And what does that mean? So that kind of means there's some questions you can put on Facebook, on the group, and we can go through those, as many questions as we can within the hour. That I can answer as much as I can, or Atarita can answer. And what then we will do is, if we don't have any questions we don't know, we will try to find the answers to that, maybe bring it back in the next webinar or answer that in the Facebook group. But really, I suppose it's, just getting your questions as much as possible to answer. Our answers too are going to be based on our experiences in SFM. Yeah. And it may be the same or it may be different from others in SFM. What you're trying to do is just gauge as much information as possible to have an informed decision around what you're going to do next. So I think it's really important to know that there may be differences, but our answers will be subjective to our experiences as opposed to anybody else's experience that are out there in SFM. But what's really important is to be clear with your questions when you write them in Facebook, and we'll be as clear as we can with answering those. So I think just for today, we're just going to say what the webinar's about. Let's do an introduction between myself and Atarita and Amaya, and then I'll just finish it off with looking at results. I know results is probably right on the tip of your mind at the moment. What does that actually mean for you? And maybe have some discussion around that in the Facebook group. So do you want to go first?
I shall. Kia ora everybody. My name is Atarita Wirihana. I am the daughter of Jeanette Hamilton Pierce. I also have my own little daughter, that's why I'm looking down all the time. Her name is Amaya. She's 10 months. I am a single stay-at-home mama in Tauranga Papamoa. And my dream is to stay like that forever, for as long as Amaya is alive, to have an income while I'm looking after my daughter. So that's my dream, that's my why, is to just teach Amaya from home, travel with her, and travel with mum and dad and nanny. And so, yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I started the modules about 3 years ago when we started Digital Whanau, and I was hooked straight away. I'll let her go because she's getting fidgety. I started the modules, and it took me less than 3 weeks to go through them all, because I could see the potential in using the digital economy as an income stream for me. So I was hooked straight away. I knew the potential. I saw how, because I'm in that generation of technology, I could see that how easy it could be once it's all set up. So when Mum asked me to, have a look at this opportunity with the six-figure mentors, with SFM, I was sort of hesitant at the start, but once I did the modules, once I soaked in all the information that Stu and Jay and the rest of the community shared, I was excited. I was so excited. And now that we're here now doing live feeds from home, that's exciting. I'm so excited. At the moment, I'm just focused on being a mum. But anything that, you know, we can help with, you as our members, we'd love to help you there. Is that all right?
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So Digital Whanau is, of course, the company. So digital side of it, it's being on that internet-based world. And Whanau means family. So Ateresa and I started that name because that's exactly what our whole values is about, really, is having our family in that digital economy and moving forward with that. We absolutely believe that there are so many families out there in the situation that we were in. And we're in New Zealand, Tauranga, in the North Island. Our family is made up of my mum, who stays with Grant and I. So there's my husband, Grant, and myself. And then Ateresa and Amaya, who are 3 minutes down the road from us. So we're 3 minutes. To support each other as a whānau. So definitely, we absolutely message each other nearly every single minute of the day. Have messenger going on the side.
Photos and videos going back and forth.
Yeah, we just love the technology to do that and just communicate. To communicate with each other, like we're living together, and just feel that connection with each other because we just love being together. Yeah, traveling. What does that mean for us and the future for Amaya too in this digital economy? Can we look at building digital whānau in such a way that it grows for the next generations? That's probably my huge why I'm doing this. Only because my job was a manager in an academic institution. I built up to being that manager for the last 18 years. By the time I had gotten to the 18th year, well, actually it was pretty much 16 years. By the time I'd gotten to that point, I spent hardly any time with the kids. So I've got 2 kids, Ateresa as well as Te Pirihi, who's my son, who's 2 years younger than Ateresa. And 1 minute they were children, little babies, next minute they were adults, and I was working 70 hours a week and in the office, believing that was the best thing for our family, was to keep climbing that corporate ladder, which I did for a long 18 years. Got my qualifications as doctorate in information sciences, and that in itself I knew was the potential for our family to get into education. So this is probably why SFM is so important to me as well. And that I wanted to be with my children, and I wanted to be with my family, and I wasn't able to. So time was really important to me. Fulfillment started to become the point at the job where I didn't have fulfillment anymore. I had climbed that ladder. So what happened at that point is that I started looking for other opportunities and came across Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So my husband is a builder, and he's still building at the moment, and I suppose my other why is to see if he wants to retire from that. And we love property. Ever since the kids were little, we have always gone to open homes, brought property, renovated them, sold them, have a property portfolio, and we've been doing that for a very long time too. So property was probably my number one point after the job. Now, coming through Robert Kiyosaki, I changed from an employee into the investor area with property, and I love passive income. Passive income.
Oh, who doesn't?
Well, that's where I got to learn about passive income, and from our rentals that we have here in New Zealand. And I just thought to myself, I need more of that. But alongside that, so multiple income streams has been something that we've been really dabbling in for the last 18 years, really, Grant and I. So through Robert Kiyosaki, he had his book Cash Flow, and Cash Flow talked about the business quadrant. Now, as an employee, I thought to myself, going into business, that wasn't me. So I thought about that for like 10 years. And then I realized that being in my job, I was never going to get time freedom. I had a really good paycheck day in and day out, but I didn't have the freedom to be with my family, or I had to be in the office 70 friggin' hours a week. And then I was going, well, I don't have location freedom and I don't have time freedom. I can have a good wage, but I really wanted to start looking at more passive income, but being at home. And that's when SFM, that's when Stuart, Ross and Jay Kubizak came to me through YouTube and signed up pretty much in 2015. However, for 2 years after that, property, from moving from my job of management to property, was what I concentrated on. And that's when Atarita and I and our family went on a show around property. And in that time, we had to sell a house in Auckland for 8 weeks. So we did a show, a reality show, a TV reality show. And that was one of the biggest, what would you say?
Probably, that's what I would say. If I'm going to be honest today, don't apply for reality TV shows. No, from the start, like you say, it was about property, and that was your passion, mum and dad's passion. So we went along thinking that, we're going to our passion, but reality TV is all about drama. So
So we finished that show, and I realized the most important thing after a show of reality is that you try to get the drama within your family. And we became so much closer as a family that we started going back to SFM. So pretty much 2016, 2017 was getting back into the modules, situating ourselves at the SFM Elite Plus and DEA Black.
Yes, that was. Yeah.
Going through the modules again. Then I did marketing. Then we did marketing on Facebook. Oh, Bing first. Bing was our first strategy.
It was.
And that actually we learned a lot through Bing.
Yes.
And then going to Facebook. Facebook was quite natural for Atarita and I. Because Atarita knew quite a lot about Facebook. But marketing on it was something new that we both did. Got into the platform. We got proof of concept that actually it does work. You can make an income and start to generate members through that. But in some ways, we didn't know why some members would come and some members would go. So we started researching that a little bit more. And there's, in hindsight now, hindsight's one thing, but in hindsight, we probably could give a better advice around how not to do it.
Yeah.
I had given up my job and probably to go full-time into SFM. I wouldn't advise doing that, giving up your job. and we can talk more about that later, but there is the focus that you can do now around how to do SFM the way that we're doing it. And now we're starting to get this momentum with you as members, and starting to use Facebook for this connection with our members.
Absolutely.
So that's really coming through. Doing webinars, questions, answers. There's always going to be a beginning stage. So really getting onto YouTube started in December 2017, and coming through now in a whole different way and potential with SFM. So that's been pretty much our story that we can share. Please share your stories through live, through. I'm just gonna mute her until she gets back to her seat. And what we can do now is I will share my screen, and I want you to look at some videos that are on the SFM. So I'm going to share my screen, and we can look at what results mean. Results is really kind of important here. So if I share my screen, go to share screen. There's all my pictures of Atarita and Amaya, sorry. So if you go into the digital business system and you go to the back office and you go to the home tab and the SFM, about the SFM, you get a video of Stuart, and go through that video and write some notes in relation to what he talks about in terms of results, his results, what's the difference between knowing about his results, knowing about testimonials of other members in SFM's results, and my own results to what your results are going to be about. So it's important to try and gauge what Stuart is talking about in results, because we all know that you're here to want to get results as soon as you can with your businesses, get them up and running. But then I want you to go to this video at the bottom here before getting started, and this video here is from Tony Robbins, who's with Frank Kerns and John Reese. Go through this video, and they're trying to talk about how do people follow through and trying to get some results. And when you listen to this video, have a think about what they say is impacting your results. So when I think about these two videos, one point that Stuart got to me was how I looked at Stuart in such a way that there was potential. And Tony Robbins definitely gives that he gives a structure around 4 boxes called potential, action, results, and certainty. Now, Atarita talked about potential. She talked about, in her way, she could see the potential in SFM. So if you can write some notes around to yourself, what do you think the potential is of SFM? And I know if you're just starting, you're just getting into the modules and everything seems a bit new, is there something that's come up for you in relation to potential? Is there something that comes up in relation to certainty or your belief around that potential? And then what kind of actions do you think has to happen around SFM for you to start getting results? Now, have a look at what Tony Robbins' model is, or changing your certainty. It is very hard at this point if, you know, there's so much uncertainty that you understand your belief around SFM or belief around this education, and just get that all down in paper, exactly how you're kind of feeling around SFM, around the potential, around your certainty or belief about being in the digital economy, about having a digital business. Where can you get the time to do this? Is this around family or not? And your actions that you think you have to take with SFM, and what kind of results are you wanting to get? Can you visualize your results at the end? Tony talks about people either get results or they have a story. And I thought that was really important because Stuart talked about the same thing. Stuart has results. He has a proven results around SFM, testimonials, but a lot of people that talk about SFM and actually haven't gone through it may see it in a more negative light. So they have a story about SFM that they actually haven't been in it and done it. So that will determine your certainty or your beliefs. That will determine whether you see there's more potential here, whether you will stay and do the action around the modules, or how fast you will do that action onto how fast your results are. And that's starting to get you into a growth mindset and a business mindset. Okay, a little bit of homework, but I'm not going to do this every single time either. I'm just going to stop the screen. It's just a situation at the moment to kind of look at results. That's all it is. And I thought, well, if we didn't have any questions, we could do this and just put it through to you, what you think in that about SFM home tab. What do you think about results? What do you think the potential of SFM is right at this point, and whether or not that potential you're going to follow through, and whether or not you're going to do the modules, go to the webinars, make your website, and really feel an energy of excitement with it. I think that's what's really important. Find that energy.
It's right there. It is right there.
Yes.
I agree.
It's the energy of potentially understanding where SFM can take you.
That's
okay. Right. So what's the outcome if for us, what would be the outcome if we didn't take SFM on? If we weren't here doing these webinars, I had to go back and get a job.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back to the 9 to 5. And I really feel that my back is up against the wall. Don't get me wrong, I loved my job as an academic and I really wanted to be there, but my point and my potential and my belief in SFM right now is so strong because your members here already, I already know this works. If I can make $20, I can make $20,000 a month, $200,000 a month. But it's now it's the ability to understand where that potential of SF can take you, or if you don't go on with SFM, where do you go to? And at this stage, I have no intention of going back to the corporate 9 to 5. Well, it wasn't 9 to 5; it was 7 to 7. It was, and being in that office again. So that's us. We're just talking about that in terms of who we are, where we're at, and that's our journey so far with SFM. Where do we see ourselves? For me, it's going to be, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm at that mindset that I'm doing whatever it takes to make this work. And although it's just been December where I've been on YouTube, videos was the most important thing to get through. and focus on those. There is one book that I do think that has helped me to go right in and focus. The One Thing by Gary Keller is let's see, I got some tabs in there. I got it audio, and I got it as a hard copy, and I got it as an audio. The One Thing. When I got into the stage where, okay, I'm not off doing property, I'm not doing my job, not
on TV,
not on TV, not worrying about everybody else. What is the one thing I really wanted to concentrate on and understand the potential of and make work and get results about was SFM. And that's where I'm at. And we just wanted to talk about that for now. Anyway, what do you think? You got anything to finish up by?
I just want to relate back to that what you said about feeling the energy of SFM. That's how I felt when I started the modules. But when you meet everybody in person, so we've met Stu and Jay, the whole community, we've met everybody, and you feel that energy 1,000 times, because 1,000 times more, because everybody is on this wavelength of that growth mindset using the digital economy. And once you feel that energy, you just want to keep going, keep progressing, keep growing, keep learning. And so, we're here for that journey that you're going through at the moment, because we got support when we started. We had all this enthusiasm that we still have now, which you can see. So keep that energy going. There will be times where the energy will dwindle because of life. We've all got a life to carry on with. We've all got children. Some of us have got children. But it's keeping with the community, the online community, to get that energy spark back up again.
That's a really good point about the events and the face-to-face. The face-to-face as opposed to seeing everybody in webinars. Go to as many webinars as you can.
Yeah.
If you can go to the momentum days and the events, there is this new energy.
Yeah.
And it's even more so now about actually going through SFM faster and getting your results faster. There is this new energy there. So the community is everything. Now, I have never been in a community where everybody is happy and smiling.
Heck yeah.
The last time we actually went was when I was in Brisbane, 2016, and we were just showered with so much excitement and energy that we were at the Platinum, the DEA Platinum, around personal branding. Our personal branding has always been digital whanau, but the energy in the room to get that personal branding to the forefront of your business, it's a different world. But everybody's so happy and so excited, and so you want to be around those people because they're positive.
That's what I was just going to say. You choose when you're starting a new venture like an online business, you need to constantly be around minds that are in that, in that online business that are where you want to be, and that's the SFM community. So we're always inspired by Lifestyle Team, by Jay, by Stuart. So we're constantly keeping up to date with what they're doing, because that's who we strive to be, and have that growth mindset like them.
They're the models. They've already done it. They've already got the results, and and we know we're going to do whatever it takes to get to those results.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in module 2, you'll come across who do you associate with, because you become those that you associate with, especially the first 5 people that you associate with daily.
That's right.
And in that module, in the association of those, you get their mindset, you get their language, you get their beliefs, and not their beliefs. So you take on all of that, and it's probably one of the exercises that I didn't understand, that I was only going to get to a certain salary because I was always around those people of that certain salary, until started looking at property and business, and it took me to different people and the way that they think and the way that they do and the way they act. So helping to act on what you're believing.
Yeah.
That was a little bit extra. I really enjoyed that, actually.
But it's so important, like, just to be conscious about who is around you while you're going through this new journey of your online business.
Yes, and negativity, we like to keep into the positivity, but you will come across people that say, no, you shouldn't do that, the naysayers. And it's getting that confidence to be certain with yourself if you carry on with SFM, because you know the potential that it has. So absolutely, the community of the SFM is probably the hugest reason why we keep staying with them, because of the way that they think, their language, their results, and the possibilities. They just feel unlimited. What they do in their lives is something that I've just never seen before, when people are so happy traveling, being with family, writing their books, doing all of the service that they do and the charities that they do. And it's just making a difference to so many other people's lives. Yes, when you get to the point of wanting to make a difference for other people's lives, as well as your own, you're on this whole different journey. I think that's really important too.
Definitely.
Okay, that was kind of like a half an hour kind of. This is what these webinars are for. Introduction, look into results around that home tab, and get in with the webinars in the community. If you
even our webinar, like, get in with our webinar. We know it's daunting at the start to get into webinars and ask questions and even talk, but that's where your confidence comes out. That's where you actually get to know yourself, I think, is talking to other people across the other side of the world. Isn't that right, Amaya? So yeah, keep on using the Facebook page, asking questions, using us as much as you need, because that's what we had when we started on our journey. Was we had so much support, and yeah, it's got us to where we are now. We're still getting support from the community. Yeah.
Okay, that's it from us, and I'll write up the next questions for next week, the Monday coming up. Okay.
Awesome. Ka pai. See you, whanau.
Bye.